NATO is staging its biggest military exercise since the Cold War, called Steadfast Defender. Several military scenarios will be played out until May of this year. 90,000 soldiers from all 31 NATO allies and Sweden will be participating. Poland is one of the countries where the drills are taking place. On the Vistula River, troops are testing their ability to move military equipment in difficult conditions. Our Brussels bureau chief, Alexandra von Namen, reports now from Poland.
Moving NATO forces towards an imaginary front line 300 meters across the Vistula River. This exercise, commanders here tell us, is meant to test NATO's strategic planning and logistics.
River crossing operations like the one we are witnessing here are only undertaken if absolutely necessary. And that is because they are so difficult to plan and execute. You have to consider many different factors, like the characteristics of the terrain and river currents. And of course, in case of a real war, all of these challenges would be magnified by enemy fire.
So they want to be ready in case bridges are destroyed and they need to get across a river, an important exercise especially for countries such as Poland and the Baltic states, which are crossed by numerous rivers. British and German combat engineers are among those in charge of transporting battle tanks and other equipment across the Vistula River. They said it took them just a few minutes to put together a ferry like this one. But every day has its own challenges.
The river's quite high at the moment, it's quite angry. A few weeks ago, the areas where we launched from, where we formed up all the troops across, that was actually underneath water. So both the Polish have been outstanding, the bank preparation, the groundworks to support us, and then indeed the further work to maintain that.
With some 20,000 soldiers from 9 NATO countries participating, this exercise led by Poland is also a demonstration that the alliance is ready to deploy its spearhead forces wherever they are needed.
I would argue it's the right exercise at the right time because it sends a unified message.
A unified message to potential enemies like Russia?
Of course, potential enemies like Russia. You know, NATO is preparing itself against two threats. It's Russia and its terrorist threats. But I would argue that this message is also going to our own audiences. We need to prepare ourselves. We need to be better.
And to spend more on drills like this one and on defense in general, NATO officers say. But apart from these more general concerns, they are happy with day one of their training.
And let's cross over now to our Brussels bureau chief, Alexandra von Namen, who filed that report. She's in Gniew, Poland, where one of the scenarios of this military exercise is being played out. Alexandra, this is the biggest NATO exercise since the Cold War. Is it intended to discourage, it is intended to discourage potential enemies, but does it not risk exacerbating tensions with Russia, which has already launched a war against Ukraine?
Well, Terry, you're right that Russia has been criticizing this exercise, the Steadfast Defender, as yet another proof of NATO's aggressive behavior. And I confronted NATO commanders here with this accusation, and they told me their only goal is to improve NATO's defense and deterrence posture. So they want their troops to train to be able to defend NATO's territory. It's not about attacking Russia. It's not about provoking anyone. However, they also say that, of course, the fact that a decision was made to have such a large-scale exercise is due to Russia's war in Ukraine, because, of course, this war raging on Europe's doorstep is saying that Russia is behaving aggressively, and according to the assessment of some intelligence agencies in Europe, in 3 to 5 years, Russia could attack NATO territory. So their goal here is to make sure that NATO forces are ready to defend its territory if it is needed.
What's Germany's role in this military simulation, Alexandra?
Germany is contributing to many of those exercises. In the report, we've heard from one of the generals who are in charge of organizing, of planning those exercises. Steadfast Defender is not just one big exercise, it's a series of many exercises that are taking place across NATO territory. And there will be one of them starting soon that will be led by the German Bundeswehr, and the main goal of this exercise will be to be able to train deploying troops to NATO's eastern flank. So we have to understand that the Steadfast Defender is like a big umbrella for many different exercises led by different NATO countries.
Now, these exercises have two main phases, I understand, and they're going to end in May. What else can we expect between now and then?
Well, there will be a lot more to come. There will be exercises in the High Nord in Norway. We will be also having some exercises in Italy and Romania with different focuses. But I think it's fair to say that the main goal here is to have the ability to train, the ability to deploy NATO forces very quickly from all over Europe to NATO's eastern flank. And this is showing you once again that the alliance is viewing Russia as the main threat, and that is why they are training in Europe, and that is why they want to make sure that they are ready if there is any miscalculation from Russia.
Alexandra, thank you very much for your reporting. That was DW's Alexandra von Namen in Gniew, Poland.
Thank you.